Welcome everyone to High Tea.
Come on, out of the way.
Just like busting at the seams, super excited. I literally feel like we're in royal presence. It is such an honor to have you here. We cannot thank you enough for being here.
Oh my gosh, you guys, I got super sick last week, and and totally lost my voice, so I sound so sexy. So that's why I literally, and I took a red eye last night because I wanted to be here so badly, and so it didn't help. So just know, I apologize for this, and I'll be talking like NPR.
Welcome to Rule Your Kingdom podcast with Queen Lesli. All right, well, yeah, we're thrilled. Thank you again, especially given the circumstances. And
I would have missed this.
Awesome. And just a basic overview, we're going to do some interview with Lesli. We are going to eat the microphone. And then a lot of you have been asking about what is this Retreat to Broadway, so we're going to do a quick Retreat to Broadway 101 commercial. And then we're going to open it up for Q&A. Our panels are very intentional about our audience, you all, the fans, so we want to leave as much time open for Q&A. So we will definitely allow time for that, and we're so excited to be spending the next hour with you. Yeah, so, yeah, love it. So, this is great. Typically, servants move the Queen's things, but we want you as comfortable as possible here with High Tea, Queen Lesli. I was struggling a bit with, just setting a little ambiance, and I'm not royalty, but I figured some napkins with tea, and they're biodegradable, environmental friendly. I don't know if the royals have roosters. Towels, but here we go.
I was going to say something dirty.
But what is a high tea without a cup and a saucer and a spoon that are all chocolate? Yes. This is for you.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Lesli, I felt like royalty this week. They sent us 2 sets, one for you, one for me. Guys, Retreat to Broadway now is a chocolate sponsor. 10th and Pike Sweetshop.com. Amazing. It's all boutique artisan chocolate, right?
Artisanal chocolate?
Right? Who knew?
It's so Brooklyn.
Cup and saucer and a spoon.
This is so cute.
Right? And they are donating 30% of their proceeds from all their online sales to Retreat to Broadway this month. Yeah, the whole month of January. So we love 10th and Pike Sweet Shop.
I was going to eat it, but I might not.
Yeah, you can. It's like welcome to the chocolate factory.
Oh, it's really good, you guys.
Yeah, and the last item, a chocolate teapot. So, here you go, Chip.
Thank you, instead of calling me Mrs. Potts, because that would have sent me over the edge. So cute.
So yeah, I'm very excited. This is what celebrities must feel like when they get a little sponsorship or something, right? I got a message saying there's something at the hotel for you. I go to pick it up. It's this chocolate. I'm getting off the elevator to go find my room. I am sniffing this beautiful box of chocolate. I did not realize the gym is on the floor of my room. This beautiful man, just after his workout, I am sniffing this chocolate. Yeah, it was very embarrassing, but hashtag fat for Broadway. I'm gonna start a new extension program. So anyway, welcome to High Tea.
Yay!
Is it good?
It's so good.
Okay, good.
It's almost gone.
Awesome.
This is riveting content, I know.
Yeah, so how is this con going for you, Lesli?
Well, I was bummed because I couldn't be here yesterday. And so it's been like a whirlwind this morning, but I'm so happy. You guys, this is my favorite thing, of the year. And Is there anybody who was here from the first year? That was like the best, and since then I'm just like, I love it so much. Star Wars musical. I love it so much. I'm really happy it's back here. Yeah. The Javits Center was like massive and horrible, yeah. Just on Instagram. Margherita's Javits is massive and horrible. But I'm really happy it's back here, and it's just like, I couldn't miss it, and I love seeing all of you guys, and it's just awesome, and I love it. I love it. Oh, I love it.
Awesome. How many of you, it's your first time here at BroadwayCon? Awesome. Welcome. So excited.
Oh, you're wasting your hour with me. I love it.
So, Lesli, I wanted to know, and I know a lot of your fans, I'm sure, want to know, how do you manage to stay so authentic and positive in this world of show business? You are just, a shining example of just really authenticity and positivity. How do you do it?
I drink, yeah. No. I think, at least for me, I have to be honest, because the thing is, bad days, anxiety, everything happens to everybody. And I think it's important, especially on social media, where everything is filtered and perfect. Not that I filter my pictures, but like, you see things through a lens, and I think it's really important for other people to realize that not everything is perfect, especially performers and actors. We have crappy days too, and awful auditions, and get rejected every day. I never saw a problem with saying I just tanked that audition, because I know that somebody else did. And it's a hard thing, because I know that, I just saw a friend of mine, Jeffrey Schechter, that I think it's a hard thing to know as a performer what you should say and what you shouldn't, because there is a camp that's like, don't put anything bad on social media, or they'll think that you're not working, or that you tanked an audition. I was like, well, why is that bad? But I try and be as authentic as possible. I know my husband's like, maybe not so authentic. But I try to be, just because I wish somebody was real with me. And my parents always encouraged me to be me. And so I like to encourage people to be themselves and rule their kingdoms. But yeah, I think you have to find the funny. You have to stay positive, and it's tough. Trust me, there are days where I'm like, it's hard. But I kind of find solace in other people online being like, yes, we go through that as well, in a weird way. Not that I want people to feel as miserable as I am, or eating a wheel of cheese like I do not either. But there's like a commonality where you're like, okay, everybody goes through this stuff.
And you mentioned childhood, and can you tell us, just briefly about, well, not briefly, we have a good amount of time, but just your road to Broadway and landing.
You guys, my road to Broadway went. So I grew up on a cattle ranch. And my sisters were much older, and I was the youngest, but I would tap dance on the septic tank, because it had amazing sound. And I started dancing first, and then my mom took me to see Annie in San Francisco, and one of the orphans messed up, and I was like, I could totally do that. And so they were looking for more kids. They were like touring the Bay Area, whatever. And my dad got me the application. And there's a point to this story. I show up, I was like, I'm gonna audition, and my mom was like, you've never sung in your life, whatever. I'm like, I'm going. And we get there, and there's like 500 little girls, all in beautiful dresses and curls, and I am just off the ranch in jeans and look like a mess. And my mom said that there was a man that was sitting in the front just kind of watching everything. We thought it was a monitor or whatever. And I was on a folding chair making fart noises with the...
She was what?
Nothing has changed. But I ended up getting that job, and what was so important for me as a kid was I was fearless, and I was different than everybody else that was there. I didn't once and I remember this so clearly, looking at those little girls, and I was like, how are you gonna dance with your hair like that? I was very clear that I was who I was at a young age. And then, like, teen years, it goes away, and I have to kind of remember, like, how fearless and how free I was as a kid. It gets better after teen years. But I always knew I wanted to be on Broadway. I just loved California. And my dream was to work at Disneyland, to perform at Disneyland. And so I knew that I wanted to go to college in Los Angeles just because I wanted to work at Disneyland. And I did. And I met Stephanie Block and Eve Espinoza and like all these people that are, you know, such good friends of mine now. We all had that experience. And I eventually was like, I'll get to Broadway. And I got sidetracked, luckily. I ended up doing like TV stuff. And I stayed in LA. And I did amazing regional theater with friends of mine like Jeffrey Schechter. We did Grease. And we did Madeline Wanchai together. And like, it's the best. I just loved the theater scene in California. Yeah, and regional theater, you guys, is like my favorite thing in the world. I love it. And those shows are always sometimes better than Broadway shows. It just happens. And so Broadway kind of got put to the side a little bit. And I kept, though, flying out for some stuff and wasn't getting anything. So I was like, you know what, I'm just going to stay in LA. And then this is why my journey went like this. Then years go by and I'm doing TV and regional stuff and was just kind of like, well, eventually Broadway will happen, maybe. And I just had gotten so many no's. So then I got an audition for one act workshop of Zorro the musical. But when I got that audition, I was like, oof, this is gonna be a winner. and I just pictured like Party City Zorro with like a horrible mask, like just dancing around. I don't know. And I got an audition for one role, and I went in, and because I knew what I was, I knew I wasn't the ingenue, I knew like I was gonna be the little more brassy one. I walked in and I was like, I want to audition for this other role. They said, fine. And then 3 years of workshops happened all over, New York, San Francisco, LA. And then it ended up going to the West End before I'd ever done a Broadway show. Still auditioning for Broadway shows and still hearing no. But I learned there's a reason. It's because I was different. And you just have to wait for your time because different will be what somebody's looking for eventually. But yeah, you have to be yourself. And I was really frustrated that I wasn't getting Broadway shows, but because I was different, you just have to wait for that one. So, cut to, I'm in London, and the Matilda people saw my show. And like a year after that, I got an email from a friend of mine that I had done Zorro with, and he's like, there's this show opening, and it's got your name all over it, this role. And I remember I got the CD and listened to it, and I was like, oh my God, no one else can play this role. But going, I've never done a Broadway show, and I'll probably get another no. But I ended up flying myself out there for months, like back and forth, and finally got Matilda, but it was the Brits that gave me a break. I think the good thing about it taking so long, I mean, I didn't get to Broadway until my 30s. Like it took so long, but I never gave up on that dream. It just took a little while to get there. And I think the no's were really important. I don't think I could have handled being 19, 20, or just met Andrew, like he's going to Evan Hansen, like it was just rad. But like, that's a lot of pressure. Even the kids in Matilda, I'm like, you are holding down a multi-million-dollar show and you're 8, and they just were fearless and didn't care. So that again taught me, go back to when you're younger and you're fearless and can do anything. But yeah, my road to Broadway was not typical, and that's okay. I'm happy it happened that way, because when I finally got there, I appreciated it so much, and I still appreciate it so much. I still like can't believe anybody's here listening to me in my NPR voice. Like it means so much to me. And when I finally got to the first preview, I just was like bawling, because it's like just happened. Like it finally was happening. And I remember standing backstage, and I had listened to the recording so many times driving on the freeway in LA, going, I don't know if I'll get to play this role, I don't get to play this role. And then I walked on stage and started saying those words, and I lost it. And Gabe was like, I was so happy to be there. So if you're feeling like it's never gonna happen, it will, I promise you, if you just keep going, but you cannot give up. And hopefully, you know, I'm living proof of that it just happens when it's supposed to happen. But there's no clear path. There's no clear path. It's a long, convoluted story, but it's a long, convoluted life.
Followed you the whole way. And Lesli, humble as always, she won the Olivier Award for that role.
It's the British Tony. People here go, the Oliver Award. What was that? But you guys, I won the Olivier and was like, I will finally now get to do a Broadway show. I came back 2 weeks later, flew out, and was so close to 2 shows, and I didn't get either one of them. And that was a real downer, because I was like, I just won this award, and I'm still getting no's. It never stops. It never stops. And once you realize that it never stops, be okay with it. Because it just, learn to just be okay with the no's. But yeah, it took like a year till I finally got the yes.
Amazing. True testament of persistence.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep going. So you are very well known for your mantra, rule your kingdom.
Yeah.
And amazing album, amazing merch. If you haven't been to LesliMargherita.com, highly encourage. It's so great, and it's so visually appealing and fun to be on there.
Oh, thanks.
Awesome
It's
stuff.
pink.
So yeah, it's great. It says a lot about me, but I love it. So I'm just curious how that came about. How did that?
So I always called myself Queen as a kid, and I wrote Leslie Rules on everything. I talk about it in the show. And I think I just would always call myself Queen, just because I always say that if people are going to give you a label, you might as well give yourself one that you like. And that could be anything, really. But and I keep having to explain this because I'm so sorry if you've all heard this before, but me calling myself Queen has nothing to do with me thinking I'm awesome, or I do think I'm awesome, but has nothing to do, you know, with like, oh, she thinks she's better than everybody else. It's not. It is the reminder that I control me, I rule my little kingdom. Nobody can tell me who I'm supposed to be. Nobody can tell me how I'm supposed to act, what I'm supposed to say, because they don't rule, I do. And that is my own reminder, and I'm so glad that it just kind of stuck. And so when we, you know, I've been doing cabaret shows in LA, and no one cared. But we've been doing, I've had the same people that I do the shows with, and we've been doing these well, and Chrissy, I've been to all of them in LA. But I kept telling these lessons, my life lessons, and so finally we were like, we should just put this all together into one thing. And the lesson was rule your kingdom. And so it's why we did the live album of it, because for me, the stories that go along with those songs are just as important as the songs themselves. And I'm so happy that we finally got to record it. But yeah, it's about like just ruling yourself and being okay with being weird, being okay with being different. That's what makes you special. That's what's gonna make you stand out and honestly just to everybody else. I see things, I always read message board quotes in my shows. And I can't look for them anymore. My friend Lauren looks for them and weeds out the really mean ones. But I look at stuff like that and I'm like, why do I care that somebody wrote something horrible about me? But you do, we all do. So I had to find a way to like be okay that not everybody likes me, and that's fine. It's fine. And once I kind of adopted that of like, you don't have to like me, it's fine. It was so freeing just to be like, okay, next. It really was. So the show and ruling your kingdom is kind of all about that and being you.
Yeah, it's a great show, great album, highly recommend it. Yeah, it's great, entertaining, inspiring, hilarious. So wondering if you can share a specific time in your career when it was difficult to rule your kingdom, whether it was self-doubt, fear, your own criticism, you know.
Yeah, I think there've been a couple times. In college, I lucked out and got on a television series, and I automatically, because I was 18, was like, oh, this is easy. That show went 22 episodes, was a spectacular failure. And then I was out of a job, and I was like, well, this is easy, I'll just get another television series, and I didn't. And that was the first time that I started to doubt myself, and it was really the first time in my life that I didn't go, like that kid auditioning for Annie, that I didn't go, well, I'm just gonna get it. Like, it's just gonna happen. That really made me question what I was doing, and some people that were producing the show weren't so nice to me. You know, you come from being so fearless as a kid, and then you end up with crappy part of the business of somebody being like, well, you're the fat funny girl, or you're the not attractive sidekick, and you start to believe that. Where I'm like, no, it's just that you're an asshole. Like, you know, it just like, but I forgot that. And so that was really tough for me, like kind of coming into my 20s. But I went back to performing at theme parks. I went back to doing what I loved. And that was so helpful to get my confidence back. But then the other part was coming back from London and not thinking like, okay, finally it's gonna happen, and it didn't. And yeah, the doubts creep in. The doubts creep in all the time, you guys. The doubts creep in when I'm working on a show. The doubts creep in, you know, all the time. Auditions, I hate auditioning. Anyone who says they love it is lying. I get incredibly nervous. It's normal, but it's something that I have to do. But the doubts never leave. And I think having the down times that I did really, really helped me just kind of knowing how to deal with those down times, because you're always going to have the down times. But the doubt never leaves. The doubt and the low, there are low days. I just, you know, try and smile through it. But everybody has them. You know, and still, there are heartbreaking things that happen, heartbreaking to me in my career, and everybody goes through it, though. That's the thing, is you have to remember that everybody goes through all this stuff, not getting roles, and you guys know, it's, you know, no matter what level it's on. I was just as devastated in high school if I didn't get roles as I am now, you know, it's no different. But yeah, there were some low times, and it was definitely having to do with not getting jobs. But during those low times is when I figured out that I had to separate me from my work. I am not my job. Me not getting a show doesn't mean that I'm no good. I started just really separating that and having other interests and doing things that had nothing to do with show business, because it really feels like sometimes when you don't get a role, it feels like a personal attack. And it's so not. It's so not. It doesn't mean they don't like you. Well, sometimes they don't like me, but it just means, you know, it's not personal. It's not a personal attack, and so you have to find a way to lift yourself back up and keep going. But I know it's hard. It's really hard. That's why there's macaroni and cheese.
Reason number 1016 why I love you. That's my favorite food. So that's really, really interesting, that healthy separation. And
yeah, you have to. And I always tell people, because you know, those people that all they talk about is show business and their jobs, and they don't actually listen to anybody else what they're saying. It's just really important to have a life and have good friends, and realizing that your job is not who you are. The role you get is not who you are. People that get leads are no better than people in the ensemble. It's all the same stuff. It's just not, it's not who you are. So be you apart from that. It's just what you do.
Yeah. What are some things you do, say on a daily basis or weekly basis, where you do take that time for you, self-care, retreat? How do you rejuvenate?
Well, I'm a massive Star Wars fan. I go to the conventions, I'm massive. I had stormtroopers at my wedding. Because I luckily married another Star Wars geek. And it was finding stuff like that, other hobbies. And I still continue to, you guys, I'm so excited. I was an ice skater as a kid before I ever did theater, and then I had to choose because it was getting to the point where I would either go off and try and be in the Olympics, or I could do musical theater, and I chose theater. But I still once in a while ice skate, and I love figure skating. I love watching all the competitions. And so for Christmas, I was telling my husband that I really needed to find another thing, apart from showbiz, and he bought me new skates and signed me up for lessons. So I'm gonna start skating again. I will so document it because you guys, me falling on my butt will be amazing on the Instagram. But what's cool about it is I will fall, and it's such a great, I think it's such a great, analogy of I'm not good at this, and I'm gonna fall, but I'm gonna get back up, and I'm gonna keep trying to do it, which is why I think it's the perfect thing to do, because I like trying things that I'm terrible at. I'm terrible at most things, and I like trying to, learn something new, and that really helps me rejuvenate, because then my focus is not anywhere near, because even I love to write, but even that's part of this kind of career, so I'm excited to do another thing that's totally different.
Yeah.
And Star Wars again.
That's great.
And we're always at Disney. I love Disney. Always. And you guys, it makes my day that anybody knows who I am at all. And when I go to Disney World or Disneyland and somebody comes up to me, or Star Wars conventions, and someone's like, oh my God, Queen Leslie, I freak out because somebody knows who I am. And so we went to the Very Merry Mickey Christmas party at Disney World just a couple weeks ago. And so, of course, we take all the pictures, and we're standing by this big ornament, and will you just say hi? Literally, I'm standing in front of this giant ornament, and I hear, and she goes, oh my God, it's you. And I was like, who? And I'm looking around for Mickey or somebody, and it just made my day that, it always makes my day when somebody comes up to me on the street, whatever, so. It really means so much to me that you're even here, and it's still weird and unbelievable. That's all. But
wow. Just so you know, speaking, for myself, but I'm sure a lot of people in the room, it's reciprocal. I mean, it means so much to us when you're just so real and down to earth, and yeah, I just, the fact
well, I'm such a fan. I'm walking around here, you guys all see people, I'm like, oh no, there she is. Okay. And I was telling somebody this morning, I love Donna Murphy. And she knows how obsessed I am with her. She came to one of my cabaret shows and I almost lost it, and then she sent me a Mother Gothel picture for my birthday. But she knows how obsessed I am. And I have now met her several times, and every time still I'm like, hello, Miss Murphy. And she's like, Leslie. But I freak out, and there's people that I just see walking around here where I'm like, or if I'm on a panel with them, I'm like, I'm just not worthy. So I love this. I'm a huge fan. So it makes my day when anybody comes up to me. Never think you're bothering me. I've picked up poop, and someone has been like, oh my God, it's you. And I'm like, hey.
she also has a dog. I just want to clarify.
Or do I?
Or do I?
My dog gets recognized way more than me because I'm a debacle, walking him, and I really, I have a hat and crusty eyes, and I'm a debacle. And so people go, Stewie, and he's like, and I go oh God, what am I, oh God, and pull my hat down, but I love it.
So great. So our last question for Leslie before we share a little more about Retreat to Broadway and turn it over to Q&A. How would you...
I wish I could sing the song for you. Good.
How would you define success, and how might you encourage others to define or redefine success?
To me, success is getting to do what you love. So whether that's for a living or not, that's successful. And no matter what level that's on, like, I still think if I could make a living doing community theater and they paid me, I'd be like, I'm successful, I'm doing what I love, and that never goes away, and that's, I'm so grateful that I get to do this. It's also why, like, I think I've talked about this before, but I say yes to everything. Concerts, whatever I can do, I say yes, and there are some people in our business who think that's not a great idea. I don't get that. I don't understand why I wouldn't do a work of a new composer that it didn't pay me anything, but I'm helping them. And for so long, nobody asked me to do anything. So I was like, now I'm just gonna say yes to everything if I can do it. And it really helps, like, just say yes. You never know who you're gonna meet, or what, just say yes. And trust, there have been times where I'm like, why did I say yes? But it always ends up like, I always end up on the other side of it going, I'm so glad I did that. But yeah, it just, getting to do what you love is success to me.
That's great. Excellent. So a little bit about Retreat to Broadway. I didn't introduce myself, but you obviously don't need introduction, but my name is Brian Grebe, and I serve as the founder and director, thanks Mom, Retreat to Broadway. And basically, we provide experiences of relaxation and renewal for any group or individual, family, school group, church group, corporate group, anyone that wants a unique experience of retreat and live theater. And it's been such a joy doing this, and
It's awesome.
well, thanks. And it's awesome because of you. Leslie is our 11th Broadway speaker on our Speakers Bureau.
Wow.
Yes, lucky 11. And we do programs all over the country. DC, San Francisco, here in New York, Jersey, St. Louis. We custom design programs wherever people want them. And so excited to report, we've had 48 programs in 13 cities, 6 different states, and as of today, I think we hit over 2,000 people at our events and programs. So, yeah, we were at 1860 this morning, and I think this is a good bunch of people. So anyway, this is obviously a unique experience, but we'll do afternoons of reflection, evening concerts with anyone on our bureau. We'll do a whole day retreat where we meet, do small group activities, some self-reflection, group reflection, bring in a Broadway actor to share their story, go see a show, go talk about the show. And it's all about how theater impacts us. We provide a space, that's right, provide a space and a framework to offer that opportunity for reflection, relaxation. And I like to call it like an act 3. After the show, it's, okay, how does this apply then to our life? How can theater continue to change my life and the world for better? Ooh, I said it, for lack of better words, but, for good.
For good.
Anyway.
I have to interrupt you because I'm so tired from this red eye, and I literally, this says take Leslie photo, and I thought it said take Leslie pinata. And now I'm obsessed with the Leslie pinata.
That's great. Well, funny enough. There's more chocolate in there.
Just people swinging it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, anything can happen at BroadwayCon, right? So again, we have a great Speakers Bureau member. I grabbed the wrong pile of flyers, which are available on the back table.
That's very on brand for me.
Leslie is the top right. I drew a little stick figure of him with the crown, bedazzled.
Totally on brand, really.
Yeah. So
I don't even think you spelled my name right. No, you did.
I did.
Oh, I'm so proud.
Yeah. I know how to spell pinata. So really, it's a great group. We have Anthony Rapp, co-founder of BroadwayCon, Stephanie J. Block, Sebastian Arcellis, Leslie. Did I mention Leslie, our 11th? Yeah. So again, we have paperwork. We design programs at affordable rates for people. And I'm just curious who here has been to a Retreat to Broadway event or program or panel last year? Yeah, handful of you all, so highly recommend it. One exciting thing we're doing before we get to the Q&A We are doing an arts education initiative focused on rent. We are creating an arts education resource guide to pair with a live telecast, but it actually can be used anytime. Anytime you're doing a show with rent, or there's a lot of standalone activities. Coloring for Broadway partnered with us. There's a mindfulness activity. We have a lot of great submissions from a lot of great people. And for as little as $10, you can donate to our crowdfunding campaign that will help keep our programs affordable for people. It will help increase our financial scholarship fund. We've been able to give out 234 financial hardship scholarships to our programs. We never want financial, inconvenience or hardship to deny anyone a Retreat to Broadway experience. And 25% of our campaign, we're making a commitment to donate to an underserved community performing arts program. And we chose Sprout U in Trenton, New Jersey. They're an amazing group. Yeah, and I saw a performance of The Lion King in their church basement this past August. And grade schoolers just acting their hearts out. And it was amazing. And just all hands-on curriculum, arts-based education, just a great group. So we're excited to share more with them. And I don't know if you're familiar with Indiegogo or Kickstarter. We're on fundraising by Fractured Atlas, and we offer some rewards. We like to, do little giveaways. And we still have, our campaign ends February 4th. So we're about halfway through, and we've raised $5,600 out of $10,000 so far. So we're almost there. Yeah. But we still have some Broadway-themed rewards left, including house seats and backstage tour to Wicked on Broadway. You might have heard of it.
I want that.
Backstage tour and house seats to Dear Evan Hansen. And also we have...
I want that too.
We have audition boot camp, Skype coachings by Kathy Beach.